Yeah, solarbank.com. Guys, this is incredible. Are you serious? You talk about the war drums are beating. We all know about the assassination of the Iranians' top brigadier general, a nuclear military scientist, the guy in charge of building the weapons of mass destruction, nuclear bombs for Iran. He was assassinated yesterday by the Mossad of Israel, we suspect. Israel's not confirmed or denied, neither has the United States, but we all know that something big is happening. Now, the USS Nimitz is arriving in the Persian Gulf, and the threats are everywhere. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a second. Let's first put out a shout for www.backupsolarbank.com. That's www.backupsolarbank.com. The United States has no strategic transformer reserve in event of an EMP, whether it be from a nuclear detonation high above high above Kansas, let's say, or a solar flare event like we just had 2 hours ago from the sun, an M class 4.4. We don't have any protection for that, really, not really. And so there's some things we can do personally. One would be to get a backup solar bank. All right, that's www.backupsolarbank.com. This is an incredible product because you don't need batteries and you don't need to have a charger. You don't have to have power to plug it in to charge it. The sun will do it for you. And it will really, this thing is incredible, really. You can recharge your phone. You can fire up your computer on it. You can literally you can charge just about anything without ever needing to power electricity as long as the sun is shining out there or any kind of sunlight. And it's incredible. Just go to www.backupsolarbank.com. That's backupsolarbank.com. This thing's incredible. You lay your phone on it, charge it, plug in your computer. It's heavy duty. It's really incredible, guys. I'm kind of shocked by the whole thing, really, how powerful this product is. And it's solar powered. Again, www.backupsolarbank.com. Boy, in the time we're living in now, people really need to have protection. All right, guys, let me just tell you what's going on. I want to thank Agent 2020 and others. Bart Begley doing a great job on the app. If you go to the app right now, New Apocalypse Watch, you're going to go all the way around the clock because you're going to see incredible information from yesterday and today to get you up to speed on everything that's going on. And I even put out a brand new video as well. Check it all out, guys, at the Apocalypse Watch, newapocalypsewatch.com. Let me tell you what's happening. There's a big turn of events here for sure with what's going on with the Iranians and what they're doing. Now, Iran said that the nuclear scientist, his wife said, his widow, that he always said, I'm wanting to be martyred, and his wish came true. The Iranian nuclear chief scientist widow appeared on state-run TV in Iran with her husband's coffin as the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was standing there also over the coffin. The supreme leader vowed to avenge his assassination by Israel. That's his words. According to the reports, the widow of the Iranian nuclear scientist who was assassinated on Friday said today that he wanted to get martyred and that his wish had come true. The unnamed widow said that the death of the scientist would spark 1,000 others to take up his work following the ambush in Iran, just outside of Tehran, Iran, on Friday, which the Iranian regime has blamed on the Mossad of Israel. The scientist's body lay in a flag-draped open coffin at a mosque in central Tehran, where the Iranian Chief Justice prayed over his body in a public spectacle of mourning for the nuclear scientist. Man, this is going to build up hatred toward Israel big time. His death sent tensions in the region skyrocketing as Iran accused Israel of trying to provoke a war by killing their nuclear scientist. who Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu once called him out in a news conference saying, remember that name. Well, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, called out his name as the country's prominent, distinguished nuclear and defensive scientist. Khamenei, who has the final say on all matters of state, said Iran's first priority after the killing was the definitive punishment of the perpetrators and those who ordered it. He did not elaborate. And in an intervention that risked inflaming conflict even further, the former head of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, the former head of the CIA under President Barack Obama, John Brennan, called the assassination a criminal act and branded it highly reckless. Really? Really, John Brennan? The same John Brennan who we know was a part of the Russia hoax, the Russian collusion, confusion, illusion? This guy, instead of standing with our number one ally, Israel, in the Middle East, he's condemning Israel and apparently maybe even Trump. Well, anyway, look, the renewed tensions in the region followed reports yesterday the United States military has deployed aircraft carrier USS Nimitz to the Persian Gulf alongside other warships in order to provide combat support and air cover for soldiers withdrawing from Iraq and Afghanistan. And the decision to deploy the Nimitz to the Persian Gulf was made before the killing of the nuclear scientist. But of course, they knew that this was going to take place. They were preparing if it did. Now, Friday's attack also came just days before the 10th anniversary of the killing of the Iranian nuclear scientist Maji Sharai. The Iranians blamed that on Israel as well 10 years ago. Well, it looks like a repeat performance by the Israelis. So what does this all mean? United States sending over the USS Nimitz into the Persian Gulf. This is really going to be interesting. Now, John Brennan, let's go back to him, the former CIA director. Brennan noted that the scientist was not a designated terrorist, nor a member of Al-Qaeda or the Islamic State group, designated terror groups, which would be a legal target. A strong critic of President Donald Trump, John Brennan urged Iran to resist the urge to retaliate and wait for the return of the responsible American leadership on a global stage, in reference to in reference to Joe Biden, who is scheduled to replace President Donald Trump on January 20th. Brennan was director of the CIA from 2013 to 2017 under the administration of President Barack Obama and then Vice President Joe Biden. Brennan did not take part in Biden's election campaign and has not appeared to be involved in any preparations for taking office in January 20th. But early this week, Biden named Brennan's former deputy director at the CIA, Arvell Haines, as the director of national intelligence. All right. So basically, Joe Biden is going and getting playing out the same old playbook that Obama and the Clintons regimes played under. And he's going and getting the same old washed up characters like John Kerry and others to be his team. We're going to see a repeat, basically, and then some. All right. So anyway, with all this going on, don't forget Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who is said to have met in secret with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo last week before the assassination. Where did they meet at? In Saudi Arabia, in the secret location in that secret city of Neom. But the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman reportedly expressed serious reservations about an attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. So what does this all mean? Everybody seemed to sign off on this, and now we are seeing all kinds of scenarios taking place here around the world. This is very interesting how this is going to play out, guys. It really, really is. It appears to me that we are witnessing the verge of Psalms 83 or potentially even Ezekiel 38. That's why I shared with you yesterday that video I did where we went back in time for my interview I did with the late Dr. Chuck Misler, when I interviewed him in 2015 and asked him what he thought about the next major prophetic event that could happen from the Bible. He said Psalms 83 and Ezekiel 38. And he talked about Ezekiel 39, verse 6, which he said could be in reference to the United States getting hit with their locations on the islands. 1 second here. Brock Begley, is that you? Yeah. Yeah. Well, swing on by. I'm doing a video right now. Okay. Okay. I'm here. Okay. Brock Begley getting ready for tonight's broadcast. It's just really, 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 really strange what's taking place here. But I want to share this with you guys from the book of Psalms 83. Now listen to this. Keep not thou silence, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies have made a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They've taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They've said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they've consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. John Brennan, the former director of the CIA, actually sounds like he's part of this consultant, this confederacy, if you will, of characters condemning Israel by saying that the assassination of the Iranians' brigadier general, the top nuclear director of weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons, that by having him assassinated by apparently Israel's Mossad, John Brennan is saying this is a reckless terrorist criminal, is the word, attack, a reckless criminal attack. So he's calling Israel criminals. Now, this is anti-Semitic because you know, and I know, and everybody knows that the United States of America is absolutely the number one ally of Israel in the world, and Israel's our number one ally in the Middle East. So to call them out for protecting their nation from a conspiracy, from a confederacy of nations and evil plotters who are trying to destroy the holy city behind me here. Israel is doing a preemptive strike here, and have not just only the assassination of this one, the main scientist guy, this general, but the fact that they 3 times went flying in and hit 8 different locations that were with Iranians in them 3 times in 1 week. So in the last 7 days, Israel has knocked out 20, get this, guys, 24 Iranian locations in Syria and taken out their top brigadier general who was in charge of their nuclear capabilities and nuclear weaponry of mass destruction. That's what I call stepping your game up. Instead, John Brennan, who should have kept his mouth shut because he's no longer the CIA director, no longer a voice, a governmental official for the United States, and has no business jumping in there and making statements saying, just hang on a minute, or more responsible presidents coming in. That's a violation of the Logan Act in itself. And we've seen now 2 or 3 different former administrative personnel under the Obama administration do that. But everything, and if you watch the president's interview this morning with Maria Bartolo, you know that this thing is, guys, forget about political movements anymore. Forget about it. Don't even think about it. That's over with. That is over. A republic, there's no republic left in this world. There's no nation that would be considered a republic now. There's really not. You're now watching the beast. It has landed. Let me say it again. The beast has arrived. As Heidi says, the beast has arrived. It has landed. Its feet is on the ground now. And the ground game is on. And we are watching it take place right before your very eyes. If you study the Bible, it is here. It has landed. And it's starting to crawl around. And so people better get themselves right with God. And let me tell you something. You think that it's been accelerating fast for these last almost 11 years that I've been live on the air or doing videos on the air, preaching the gospel and preaching in conferences and revivals and holding coffees with people and sharing on a daily basis. You think that the last 10 years has been fast, biblical prophecy fast? You ain't seen nothing yet. What you're going to see in the next, if time lasts, another 5 years, in the next 5 years, if time lasts, I'm not so sure we're going to get past, tomorrow. I don't know. What is this December 21st sign in the heavens about? Okay. Now I know now what this September 23rd, 2017. Remember that one? The Revelation 12 sign that Scotty Clark thought was the rapture. Bless his heart. He's a nice guy. I love the man. But I told him, I said, no, it's not the rapture, Scotty. There's too many other things going to happen. But listen, it is a sign in the heavens. And it's a sign that the beast is about to rise. Well, folks, that's been just 3 years. And what do you say now? Look, what has happened in 3 years? Are you listening? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We don't know the day nor the hour, but we can see the day approaching. It's really going to get ugly, folks. It's really going to get ugly. Are you saved? Don't miss tonight's 7 p.m. broadcast. Sunday Night Live at 7 p.m. It will be powerful.